I call this the July 21st, 2026 meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners to order. Our invocation tonight will be given by Brother Ennis Hyman. Ennis is the pastor emeritus at Harmony Hill Church of God, and our pledge tonight will be given by Rebecca Granderson. She's a 24-year-old daughter of Cindy and Douglas Herbison. Rebecca lives in the Mackburg-Delrose area, and she attends a day program with Skills Development Service and works part-time at Jack's Restaurant. She recently competed in the state Summer Special Olympics and brought home 3 medals. And Rebecca loves playing bingo. So if you will, please stand for the invocation. Remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you so much for this day. Even the psalmist David said, "This is the day the Lord has made, and I'll rejoice and be glad in it." Thank you for the sun, the rain, the flowers, the beauty of this earth. And I was thinking, Lord, about this courthouse, how many meetings have been here and how many times folks have met for whatever reason. And here we are again tonight for this special mayor and commissioners meeting and so forth that'll take place. We ask your will be done in all things. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. You look at the flag. Yeah.
Allegiance to the
Flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job. Thank you, Bahel. No.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Brother Ennis. Madam Clerk, if you will, call the roll.
Brandon Coley. Here. David Sanders. Danny Walker. Here. John Creason. Here. Bonnie Caldwell. Here. Terry Lynn Rogers. Here. Jack Ashley. Here. Kate Gewen. Here. Mark Mitchell. Here. Charles Hunter. Here. Mary Ann Tackett. Present. Steve Spray. Here. Daniel Eldridge. Here. Jason Nix. Here. Anthony Taylor. Here. Doug Cunningham. Here. Pat Haynes. Here. Tori Young. Here. Ricky Bryant. Here. Glenn Douglas. Steve Guntherberg. Here. Troy Frazran. Present. Jason Hambrick. Here. Jenny Rose Walter. Present. I have 22 commissioners present and 2 absent.
Okay. At this time, I would turn it over to our attorney, Garrett Honey, for an announcement about the meeting on our rules and legislative meeting.
Good evening, everybody. So the Rules and Legislative Committee met in June to address updating the rules governing the legislative body of Lincoln County, Tennessee. I passed out some copies of some revisions. Did everybody get a copy of that? Just want to make sure. Did anybody not get a copy? Okay.
Here you go.
During that June meeting, I was tasked with reviewing the current rules that we're operating under and updating those. The last time that they had been updated, as far as I could tell, was in September of 2016. The specific purpose of why we were meeting and what we were trying to do was to make sure that our rules governing this legislative body was in compliance with the new sunshine laws that were amended earlier this year by the state of Tennessee. During the last commission meeting, it was announced that we were making these changes. It was asked that if any of the commissioners had any suggestions to let me know. For those of you all who have sent me some suggestions, I tried to take as many of those as I could and include those as part of what we're amending on these. most importantly, I guess, what I tried to look at with some of those suggestions are they compliant with the laws of the state of Tennessee and the United States government, as well, and most importantly, most likely, are they enforceable by this body or otherwise? We met again last night. I presented some proposals. The proposals that were presented last night is what I have handed out to you all. There were a few additions that were made, a few corrections, and so what we have added or corrected from last night's meeting, I'll be sending those out later this week. But if you all would just please take a look at those. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, criticisms, just please let me know as soon as possible. If you have any additions or changes that you want to have made, if you will, just please let me know by the end of this month. We'll be meeting again next month to hopefully come up with a final resolution to present to this body.
Thank you. There were no public announcements. No one registered for those. So at this time, I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes from last month. Commissioner Rose Walter, Commissioner Rogers seconds that. Any questions, comments? All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Unanimously approved. You should have received 6 monthly committee meeting minutes in your packet. Our next 2 items, I'll turn over to Tracy Perkins, Lincoln County Planner. I will read those 2 items, and then the one is for a rezoning consideration for approval of file number 2024 R13 rezone from A1 agricultural forest rural residential to R3 heavy density residential district. The second one is file number 2026 R4, consideration for approval to call for a public hearing for August 18th, 2026 at 5:30. Rezoning from A1 agricultural forestry rural residential to A2 suburban residential.
Yes, sir. So we'll start with 2024-R13. This is a file that we've been working with for a little while, but and it did go through a public hearing on May 20th, 2025. At that time, the county commission did defer this until the growth plan was done. The growth plan is not done, but Barry Brown has asked for this to be brought back for consideration tonight for a vote. Because the public hearing had already been done previously, we did not do another one. It's just how we're supposed to do it. So this is on Huntsville Highway. It is 21 acres. He wants to rezone it to R3, which is the same thing as Bailey Park. Sewer does run along Huntsville Highway, which is one of the things you have to have for R3. And let's see, is there anything else you would need to know about it? It is not in floodplain, and it is 5.3 miles, I believe, from the nearest fire station.
And where's water?
Water's at the road. It's Huntsville Highway.
There is, Lincoln County Board of Public Utilities has water at this road.
I know there is water on Huntsville Highway.
How far?
How far does water go down Huntsville Highway? Is Andy here? Huh?
What do you say?
So it will need to be,
Which line is not-
so it would need to be upgraded.
Would need to be upgraded. Who would pay for that?
That's a very good question. I'm not the one who does that.
Okay,
We're just
well,
here for
I'm sorry, I
rezoning.
didn't hear what the question was.
We're just here for rezoning. We're not here to
Well, I just need to
decide.
know if there's adequate infrastructure. That's what I'm asking.
Gotcha.
About the water line deal.
Okay. Andy, would you come up where they can hear it, because I think they got a question about the water. Andy Allsbrook, Director for our county water system.
All right, what you got? Mr. Andy, was this discussed at y'all's water board meeting?
I haven't
this
discussed it
month?
with anybody.
So this was not on.
That
the
might have been
water
discussed
board.
before I got here in December, but so far, I have not discussed it with anybody.
Okay.
Well, I guess we got it answered because it goes to the state line, it's a 2-inch water line.
Yes,
Is 2-inch water line sufficient to support an
no,
R3?
it had to be upgraded,
Who bears that cost?
the developer.
What's the suggestion, what we're doing on Wright Road? Would you discuss that project a little bit and the goals
Wright
with
Road.
that?
You gotta help me out. Where's
I
Wright
can
Road?
tell you, right now, we have not got back,
Right property.
we've not
Lincoln
got
Road.
phase one back.
Far as I know, right now, that property's still in probate. I don't know if it's came out of probate yet or not.
But the necessity of that project, why y'all are supporting it?
We were supporting, we're gonna build a water tank there to support the industrial facility that was proposed to build down there closer to the state line on the highway, this Hayfield.
So do you feel like there's adequate water?
Right now, we'll see. That's about all I can say.
Okay, if the developer brings it up, how far, where is a larger line that would supply
It's
that?
a 6-inch right there at, close to the Pine Estates, I believe it's called. But it's an 8-inch on the highway, and they'll have to come all the way up to the 8-inch, it's home to the 8-inch, and upgrade it to 8-inch all the way down.
Okay.
Wherever the subdivision is. That's what's
Is
gonna
that
happen.
is that something you're agreeing to do, Barry? You might as well come up.
There's a party agreement in place with Board of Utilities out in the county that not only that project, but also the other one that we discussed back prior to this project.
Okay.
That the county's paying for the materials. I'm supplying all the labor to extend from Pine Estates, which is an 8-inch line that's probably maybe 800 feet from this project that we're talking about tonight.
Okay.
So my plan would be to extend that 8-inch line down to there, go into the subdivision, and then later on, extend it on down the road at a later date.
Okay. Any questions about the water situation there?
I'm sure you don't know what the cost of that material would be.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, it was agreed on, voted on, and they were getting a heck of a bargain on what I was paying for out of pocket. To not only because they've got problems on South Lincoln right now, they've got problems on down to the state line. So by me running this 8-inch down to Pine Estates, gets it closer to Oak Quick, which at some point I was gonna not only run it to where I was going on Oak Quick, but I was carrying it all the way down to Patrick Road. It's gonna tie it to another 6-inch, and it's gonna solve all the water problems on Prospect Road, as well as South Patrick, as well as south to the state line. It's all looped together to get brought it up to where they can put fire hydrants in places that they can't put fire hydrants in now, and it's just solving a lot of issues.
The only reason I asked is, you got plenty of money, right?
I wouldn't be, I'm not for buying the material for the project, that is solely up to the developer, but that is up to the board of directors for the utility.
And it's in the minutes, I mean, but I'll stop by. I haven't talked to you about it because nothing's been approved, so.
Okay, so, okay, to be confirmed, there is the prior directorate and the board approved what you just said. You're doing all the work, they're paying for the materials to bring it up that far.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
I'm only 2,500 feet off the highway, even out Oak Quick, and I'm only 600 feet away with Pine Estates right there, 600 or 800 feet. But then I'm carrying it all the way to Patrick Road as well, which is benefiting me in no way, but it's also benefiting the whole water system entirely, so it's not just for me.
You're
Okay.
paying for materials from there on.
Going into the subdivision, I mean, I'm bearing all that cost.
No, you're talking about going on down Patrick Road, you gonna start paying for the material.
The
as
agreement
this-
that the board approved was for them to supply the materials, not coming into my subdivision, just passing my subdivision. That's what was approved by the,
Continuing on past this.
I'm going on past mine to carry it on down to solve the second problem that they have with the water infrastructure. At my cost.
Okay, I got a question for Gary. Are you the attorney for the water board now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you reviewed that document?
I have not.
Okay.
I've just been made aware of this situation today at 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
I just
Because
found out about this today.
not seeing the agreement since one time, it was not turned down, it was postponed. So I don't know the legalities of a previous agreement, but if, whatever this board decides tonight, you know, if it's based on a review of your reviewing that contract, I think would be appropriate.
I
Any-
feel like, that all sounds wonderful, but I feel like those discussions should be a part of the growth plan discussion. So if this was postponed, one of the reasons in here, it says the recommendation is not approved, not recommended, rather. And it goes on to discuss all the reasons. And we talk about the planned growth area and what's to be included in that. So your presentation, I feel like, is one that should be made at the growth plan meeting as to why your contributions should include that in the planned growth area. But as a point of contention for me, as a constituent and as a commissioner, when I've gone to planning and zoning as a constituent and asked for help on things before, we were told, these are the rules, these are the rules, these are the rules. And I think the rules are there to be followed, and if you don't like the rules, then you go in through the process and you change the rules. And I do not think it is acceptable practice for us to bypass, or just because we've got 13 votes, to bypass what the rules are. We're no better than our constituents, and if we expect them to follow the rules, they're counting on us to follow the rules. So the recommendation is to not pass this until the growth plan is finished, and why. So I would make a motion that we do not approve this.
Okay.
I'd like to say one thing, okay?
Let me get is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Commissioner Taylor seconds that. Yes.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And I think that everybody should have had to play by the same rules. And back when this was brought up on the old quick, back when it's been brought up right now, there was supposed to be no rezoning of anything, no matter where it was at, if it was outside the urban growth boundaries. There's been rezonings, several of them that's been rezoned because it touches the highway. That's the only reason I'm back up here, because mine touches the highway now, just like the other things that you guys have approved in the past after this was deferred.
Our rules say that there can't be any heavy density development outside of the UGB.
I don't remember.
So some of the
exactly.
things that have been approved were not high density, and that was one of the things that I told Tracy as we're working on redoing planning and zoning rules. It needs to be in there exactly what our definition of high density is, because you as a constituent and a builder should know what that information
Well,
is.
I certainly do.
I agree with you on that. And again, that takes us back to all the plan that we're working on and trying. Would you address what your goals are after the growth plan you would like for the rules to be?
Well, I mean, as far as, you know, the planning commission, they are bound to certain rules that apply. There's no discretion there. I do think that this commission has some discretion there, and, you know, I mean, the growth plan is not final, obviously, but I think the direction that it's going, I believe, is to, I mean, if you're gonna have high density development like this residential, you're gonna want it on a major highway like this. So, I mean, I have no idea what the final growth plan will look like. That'll be dependent on this body. But in my mind, you know, not trying to say one way or the other, but this type of development would be exactly what would be envisioned on a high density growth. Right here on the highway, 8-inch water line, you know, I don't think anybody wants this high density off the road or long distances from fire departments or anything like that, but this is kind of in that sweet spot that you would consider doing something like that, so.
And you would have been one of the ones that voted not to recommend it, right?
I did, as a county, as planning commission, absolutely.
Yes.
But that's a different thing. When you get on the county commission, you wear a different hat, so.
I recognize Commissioner Bryant.
One thing, and I think I may have said this before, and I know you'll get tired of hearing it, is, you know, high-density housing can be a real problem. but we talk about all the time here that we want to protect our farmland. We don't want to build a bunch of stuff on a bunch of farmland. We talk about it every single time. This is on a major highway, and I think I said this probably the last time. I'd rather have a bunch of houses on a little bit of land than I would a bunch of houses on a lot of land. So if we're true, the last meeting we had, we were talking about taking care of and preserving the farmland. And although we didn't come to a agreement that night, we're still working on it. But in this case, you take a lot of housing and put it on a very, very small piece of land that's probably not going to be farmland anyway because of where it's located. That farmland, that land at some point is going to be on that major thoroughfare. And at some point, it's going to be not farmland. That may be as clear as mud. But, I think, and I do the same thing. I'm as guilty as anybody. I talk out of both sides of my mouth sometimes. I want to preserve the farmland, but no, we don't want to do this. So, I think it's our fault that we don't have that passed yet. I think that the committee has worked very, very hard to get that done. I was one of the ones that didn't vote for it because I didn't like all the things within it. I'll be the first one to say that. But at the end of the day, our constituents expect us to make the decisions. We are the decision-making body. So we make the rules. So if something makes sense, we have a little bit of latitude, I believe. I've always believed we have a little bit of latitude to make an informed decision that sometimes doesn't fit in that box perfectly. And nothing's ever going to fit in the box perfectly. So I think he's done the work. I think he's going to get the water line bigger. I think it's going to help our tower down on Wright Road. I don't think there's any bad thing from the water side of it that I can see. The power's there, the sewer's there. We're going to get billing from sewer. We're going to get revenue from that sewer. So, sometimes we make the rule. And that's all I got to say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Young.
Mr. Brown, when we talked about this at the beginning of the year, a lot of people showed up, they were worried about the roads and the traffic. How did you decide to correct that or make that better?
Well, I did two things. Do you not hear me? I can speak up, I can talk pretty loud if I need to. I really am not aware of any water or any street problems at Pine Estates. That's a project that we're talking about tonight. You can bring me up to speed on the problems that was associated with Pine Estates property. You may have been referring to the Oak Quick project.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay,
yes.
that's okay. But in reference to Pine Estates, the only concern that was brought up when it was brought before the commission here was that there was a few concerns, not only from Tim Gill. Tim told me that, during construction, you cannot come through Pine Estates because of the roads and messing up the roads. And then I have a right-of-way out to Pine Estates where I could have two entrances, or two entrances, whatever. And since I went back and redesigned it, I just basically cut that off to where all 63 lots that are proposed to go in there would come out the one exit onto Highway 231, 431. It would not loop back through Pine Estates. So if there's any commissioners that are out in their districts, mainly the one that had these concerns out at Pine Estates, please pass it on to them. And back to Ms. Roll's comment earlier that about the high density. I mean, high density really didn't come up. It certainly didn't come up during, as far as the, because you'd made a comment a few minutes ago about high density. It's not really my fault or any of the taxpayers' faults here that urban growth boundary that was 20-something years out of date. We did Bailey Park, we did the new industrial development project down here to Richardson's property, rezoned it, and then, all of a sudden when an opinion came out about the growth boundary, you can't build anything else outside the growth boundaries. Those were all opinions. They came up several different times through several different people, John Henry and then everybody else that was out there. And I've been trying to help our housing need here in Lincoln County. And the bottom line is, if you can't afford a $500,000 house, you have nowhere to live here. Right now, Bailey Park has got about 6 months supply left. Out of Bailey Park, you ride through there, you'll see nice homes, you see families with kids, you don't see nothing run down, the houses are well built, They're selling anywhere from $325 to $350, and that seems to be all that our younger generation can afford. I've showed 2 of my houses this week that people want to rent because they can't afford to buy, but they want to buy. But I mean, we're not in a position now with interest rates and everything else to make that happen. So what's going to end up happening is Lincoln County is going to end up with no homes here for people to live in. You go across the state line, there's 400 homes sitting down there, or close to 600. They're not stalled. They're not giving up on it. They're waiting for somebody to come in and buy a bunch of them before they really start spending the money. Because you can mass grade, you can spend a little bit of money moving dirt around, but you start putting in utilities, you start putting in curb and gutter, you start putting in roads, that's when you really start spending money. My project's 63 lots here. Bailey Park was 140. It's not like I'm saturating anywhere. I mean, because obviously, I'm not going to want to sit here for the next 6 years trying to break even on it. I mean, I'm going to build smaller projects that really fit the need here. Instead of saturating the schools, instead of just bombarding, I'm not looking to build any data centers in Lincoln County. So if anybody's thinking that, I'm not. But it's getting a little frustrating because, you know, the rules did change for some lots that touch the highway. Mine was deferred. Mine touches the highway. I meet all the criteria. I'm solving a water issue. I'm also supplying another 63 lots after 8 months from now when we won't have no lots for people to move into quality built homes at an affordable rate that meet all the guidelines. I'm meeting all the county, all the city requirements with the infrastructures. I'm doing it right. I'm maintaining restrictions. I'm maintaining covenants, and I'm staying part of that project well until after it's finished. So I really don't know how
I think you've answered our questions. You're welcome to stay up there, Barry, but let me get around to Commissioner Ewan.
So you're just gonna have an exit on 431, right?
That's correct.
I really don't remember anybody complaining about this area.
Well, they did. There was some people, the people that live right up against my property, which I met with them, and I'd be neighborly with them whether they give me what I want or not, and I'm not asking them for anything. I just decided with 63 lots, there's no use in bombarding this neighborhood that's been established there for the last 40 or 50 years and bringing new traffic through there when 63 homes is not very many.
Okay. Okay, you've spoken once. Let me see if anybody else want to speak? Yeah.
I've spoken once too. My only concern is the burden of the Lincoln County Board of Public Utilities. I understand that he said it's been approved. We got a new man there. I do think what you were talking about, if Garrett reviews legally, if that agreement is, and also, he's gonna have to figure out what that burden, what that cost is gonna be to him. And the benefits, I can see the benefits, great benefits, but again, I don't know if Lincoln County Board of Public Utilities has $2 or $3 million in reserve or not, but I think we ought to give him time to look at that.
Well, it's in the minutes, it's approved, and it hasn't been disapproved. I talked with, they approved it, yes, they approved it, it's in their minutes.
Okay, well,
They made an obligation to me when they made that agreement.
May I address this?
yes, sir.
First of all, this may be a question that for you, you may or may not know the answer, or maybe you do. Was this something that was approved for the minutes, or was there an actual contract?
There was an actual vote on it.
But no actual
Bob Ramsey
contract?
came in, the county engineer, verified everything, and they agreed to pay for the materials if I would provide the labor. And the labor, it's pretty excessive. It's a lot of labor. You see the terrains going down the left side of Highway 231. They're saving money on this here because they need it, and they recognize it, and have enough sense to know that if somebody's gonna bear all the labor, we bear the material, but we're gonna have to do this sooner than later anyways, unless you don't want people to have fire protection at their houses, fire hydrants. They're building more homes on South Patrick right now. I know several people here that's got very nice homes. There's not adequate water supply to put the fires out.
Okay, I got a question on this. Who's guaranteeing this line for how long? Who would?
The contractor has to guarantee it for 1 year.
1 year, okay. Okay.
May I address
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to address the body. First of all, I don't disagree with anything that you said about we've got rules, we've got to follow those rules, but we also have a process for rezoning. This is part of that process. I just also want to advise this body that the rules that we are operating under for this particular situation, they're not the current rules. The current rules were changed in November of last year, and the application for this rezoning was done prior to that. So take consideration that we are operating under the prior rules that were changed.
Everybody understand that? Okay. Commissioner Rosewater.
Alright, so I concur with Mr. Bryant's sentiments, and I appreciate everything that you do. I've said it over and over and have a great deal of respect for you. But we've had someone that has stand up and presented why we're doing the comprehensive plan, and then why we had to veer right and go ahead and do the growth plan so that it would make us legally compliant with state statute. And now here we are voting again. So why did we pay all this money for the growth plan if 13 people can do whatever we want and we could hold that rule? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I think we need to get it in gear, and hopefully the new people will come in and we'll get this growth plan finished in time. But I just, of good conscience, cannot vote when I know it's against the rules.
Do you not think that 231, 431 is going to be in the growth plan?
I'm not,
Commissioner Eldridge.
The main product of the growth plan is gonna be the land use map. And I think we've all kind of seen what that is. That's probably gonna change a little, but it's probably gonna end up being what this draft looks like. And that is, you know, that corridor 231 there is the high growth area, you know, planned growth area. And that is exactly, you know, it seems like we're, you know, the intent of the plan is to make sure that we're developing in a way that is smart. And to me, it is smart to put high-density residential next to a major highway and make sure we got the infrastructure there that will serve other properties later. That seems like a smart thing to do.
Okay.
I don't think it's in
And-
conflict. I don't think it conflicts at all with the growth plan.
Rural growth plan does not change the zoning, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
and one thing that has not been discussed, and I just feel like I should say it, is the schools. Because a lot of times we do these rezonings and we never talk about the schools. So according to the community report, South Lincoln was at capacity. I would imagine that this area would be zoned for South Lincoln, so those people would have to go to Highland Rim. I mean, this is just part, I'm talking out loud, of a planning process. And, you know, again, I appreciate, respect you so much what you're doing, and I
But you and
support
everybody
it.
else here too, I
I
have the same
support
feeling.
it, but we've got the rules, we should follow the rules, and if not, then
I think
everybody just
we're,
do what you want.
is anybody else, I think the discussion's gone on long enough.
Mr. Bill, all I would like to see would be those minutes, just to see how much it's
The
gonna cost.
the water minutes.
Water minutes.
Okay. Well, we have a motion by Commissioner Rosewater, properly second by Commissioner Taylor. And we've had the discussion. The motion is to not rezone this to the A3.
Yes, it's not.
A yes vote, listen up, a yes vote would be not to rezoning it. A yes vote would be not to rezoning. If this fails, you know, we could have a motion to do it. But at this time, if you vote yes, you're voting not to rezone it. Any questions? We're gonna have a roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Brandon Coley,
No.
Danny Walker,
No.
John Creason, Bonnie Caldwell,
Yes.
Terry Lynn Rogers,
Yes.
Jack Atchley,
No.
Kate Ewan,
No.
Mark Mitchell, Charles Hunter,
No.
Mary Ann Tackett,
Yes.
Steve Spray,
No.
Daniel Eldridge,
No.
Jason Nix,
No.
Anthony Taylor,
Yes.
Doug Cunningham,
No.
Pat Haynes, Tori Young,
No.
Ricky Bryant,
No.
Steve Guntherberg,
No.
Troy Frazran,
No.
Jason Hambrick,
Yes.
Jenny Rose Walter.
Yes.
Yes. I have 6 yes votes, 16 no votes.
How many
and
no votes?
16,
16.
and 2 absent.
Okay, okay. That motion failed, so it doesn't mean it's rezoned. We have to have now a motion if this body wants to rezone that at this time. Commissioner Cunningham, you're recognized.
I move that we do rezone the property, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, as long as the water agreement is as Mr. Brown stated that it was.
Okay, that we're bound by that water agreement, and it will be up to the attorney to decide that. Is that adequate, Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second? Commissioner Bryant seconds that. Now, this is open for discussion if there's discussion to be made.
Would you repeat that motion?
This motion is to approve that property being rezoned R3 with that we think what was in the minutes or whatever bound that body and this body to that document or minutes, and that will be examined by Attorney Honey and get back with us. But if what he finds binds the two parties, it will be rezoned. Everybody understand if this passes that? Commissioner
Okay,
Rosewall.
I'm going from memory. There was an engineer's report that was attached to this, and there was an opinion from the engineer. Will that be included in the minutes that are reviewed?
I do not know. I have not seen your minutes.
So, if I may, I would like to amend that motion to also include the engineer's report for review and consideration.
Okay, does everybody understand? You're saying that you would like our attorney to review the engineer's report?
Yes, along with that. I don't have it in front of me, but I remember at the bottom, the engineer had some specific things that he stated that would need to be completed before this was acted upon. So I feel like that's vital that that's included in the review.
And he actually did a design calculations, presented it to the full board, plus at the time, Mr. Jojo, that is no longer there. And they would not have approved it if it wouldn't have been a satisfactory thing to do, of course, because they have more conversations and more insight on their engineer's opinion than I do. I was just at the meeting. Mr. Ramsey and them had already talked to them about it. So, I'm perfectly fine with that because, I wouldn't want to put it in and it not work.
There you go, thank you.
How long ago?
Wait just a second. We don't have a second to the amendment. Commissioner Haynes seconds. Okay, now we're open for discussion.
This goes back to 2024.
Okay. Yes, sir.
What is the timeline on this development? When do you think actually the first?
Well,
house
there's
will get moved
63
in?
homes down there. If I can go ahead, and I've already spent about $80,000 on engineering on this particular project. And I would like to try to have it finished within 8 months when the homes that are available to the young people in this area that doesn't have the wherewithal to go out and get a $500,000 house. I'd like to try to have it finished in 8 months.
Okay.
Finished as in house move in, ready to move in, or you?
No, I'm talking about just development. Then you're talking about probably 3 years of absorption on just 63 lots. Bailey Park's been there, and like I said, we've got another 8 months, so you know how many years we've been there trying to move 140 lots. I say try to move 140 lots. You gotta build
Okay.
140 homes.
Okay. Garrett, did you have any input or anything on, I know an attorney reviewing the engineer's report, first thing they're gonna do is hire an engineer, right?
I'm not an engineer, and if it says it's good, that's all I can say.
That's-
I don't know what an
I-
engineer's report is. I can't tell you what a 2-inch pipe versus a 4-inch pipe is gonna do for 63 houses. I don't know that information.
I
Yeah.
do know that Bob Ramsey and everybody at the water department down there, they know what they're doing.
Okay.
That's my concern with the amended motion.
That, I understand.
With the main motion, my concern is if this is, and based on something that you have said, to make sure that all parties are legally bound by this agreement. No party is gonna be legally bound by minutes of a board meeting necessarily. It is not a contract between the two parties, and so that's my biggest concern. Is
Okay.
You have something that is in a minute somewhere, but you don't have a legally binding and enforceable
Okay.
contract.
I
Okay.
can sure tell you on this Pine Estates, I'm about, what would you say, 600 feet at the most?
No idea.
That's about 600 feet away from where an 8-inch is standing at.
Okay.
If for some reason, the county water board backs up and decides that, well, we're no longer gonna do this, and it's no longer we're gonna pay for it, I'll pay for the materials myself if that was to happen. So you're not talking about 600 feet. No big deal.
Okay. Okay. We've got an amendment that's been properly seconded. Commissioner Taylor.
Okay, I think when I saw the growth plan, it said that a heavy density residential district had to be within 5 miles of the fire station. I just heard that this is beyond the 5.1, I believe.
5.3, I believe.
Well, the point I'm making is that needs to be included in the growth plan, to change that from 5 to whatever number it's gonna be.
Yeah, this project here was prior to that, and I feel like that these projects are grandfathered in under the arrangement of what we had.
Okay.
That is.
Okay, y'all understand what the amendment is, that Commissioner Rolls made it, Commissioner Haynes seconded, was that the engineering report reviewed, our attorney has said that's not under his expertise, so if y'all want this reviewed, you're gonna need to hire an engineer to do it.
The engineer made a recommendation that this be done based on A or B, and I can't remember because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
I agreed to put it all in and pay for all the labor myself, so I know what A to B is. I'm not being smart, I'm just
No,
saying,
you're
I
fine.
totally understand
There
it.
was something else that was in there, so
Okay.
I don't recall another hiccup like that.
Commissioner Nix.
My only question was, what kind of piggyback off of Taylor here, was, sorry, Commissioner, Honorable Commissioner Taylor, is that in fact grandfathered in? Is that legal opinion that is grandfathered in? So, since I knew that the 5 mile rule was there, that we put that in. He must back with Mr. Pack, Commissioner Haynes, sorry, we put that in there.
It needs to amend his motion is what you're saying.
No, I just want to hear, in fact, that it's
Okay.
grandfathered in.
Commissioner Ryan.
Not to belabor the point, but if you upgrade that to an 8-inch line and it's a 2-inch line now, it'll actually have fire hydrants. It's going to increase the fire protection because they actually have a hydrant that they can use to hook to the truck. And from what I understand, with a 2-inch line, they would probably be using dump tanks and running back toward Park City in order to get water to put in those dump tanks. So it'll actually increase the fire protection, in just my opinion, in that it's a big enough line to support a fire hydrant in those areas. It'll be multiple fire hydrants, actually.
Yes.
It won't be just one, it'll be several. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Every 500 circular
That's
feet.
absolutely
Okay.
correct, and they're expensive. Thank you.
Any other discussion before? Okay. Yes, sir.
County Board of Public Utilities, you okay with this project?
Y'all can vote how y'all wanna vote on this, he's still gotta come to us for water.
That's what I'm, thank you very much.
What was his answer?
You said they gotta come to him for water.
I found it in my notes. All right, if I may, this is what it says at the end of the report from the engineer. Based on the calculated working pressures at the proposed subdivision, we recommend approval of water availability at this site. We also recommend that the project be phased in over 4 to 5 years to allow for construction of a water transmission line from the Elk River. So this is for the R3 development on Old Quick, but it's talking about that end of town. So they reference the construction of the water treatment plant. We recommend that the project be phased in. So There
I
it
think
is.
that was prior to me agreeing to install all of this new piping, all these new lines. It was not after all of this was upgraded. That was prior to.
July 31st, 2024.
Mr. Bill, I think if you're gonna put a high density, this is the place to put it. My only issue is that I'm voting on stuff when I haven't seen the minutes. And I may have seen them years ago, but I don't remember now. So
Okay.
I'd rather have the minutes in front of me and be able to study and read and ask my questions before just throwing it out there hoping that all the minutes are correct.
Well, and you've heard Mr. Honey say, if it's in the minutes, no
Right.
one's bound by it.
Right, but at least I would see it and I would be able to
Yeah.
ask questions based on those.
Okay.
I think what he's also saying is that you guys rezoning this tonight does not buy me water. So if you rezone it and I'm paying higher taxes and I go to him and he says, you have no water, I'll tear up my plans, I'll sell my property and get out of Lincoln County.
Okay.
Chairman. This is probably a question for you, sir. Over adding these 63, is that right? 63 lots, how much revenue is that gonna increase for the sewer system that we have down through there right now?
I won't know that off the top of my head. I'll get back with you tomorrow on it. I don't know right now.
But I've been studying the sewer, and I'm gonna come by and have a long talk with you, because me and JoJo shared a lot of knowledge about the water department. He shared with me, and I'd love to talk to you. Seem like a heck of a nice guy. I apologize for not already getting by there. But, you know, it comes down to this right here, guys. If we're going to, these subdivisions are needed for people to live in. These subdivisions are needed for Lincoln County Board of Public Utilities to get out of the red on a sewer project that they'll never make a dime off of. And there's just lots of things that this here is gonna help, but the biggest thing it's gonna help is get our property taxes down to where we can afford to own property here. I own a lot of property in this town, and people here own a lot more than I do. It's sickening to let every bit of your rental income go to your property taxes here in Lincoln County. I've got a lot out here right beside Tidal Wave that I'm paying $800 a month for property taxes in the city and county.
Okay.
Vacant lot. I know.
Okay.
But
Well,
these are all the reasons
okay.
that we're bringing all this up, so let's,
Okay. The motion that was made, will you read that? The amendment to the motion.
The amendment was to include the engineer's report with the motion that Commissioner Cunningham made.
Okay.
And the motion from Commissioner Cunningham was to rezone,
That, I understand that one.
being bound by the
But-
water agreement.
But I'm a little lost on what we're, Commissioner Cunningham and Hunter, Commissioner Cunningham.
Well, I guess I have a concern now about the engineering report. You know, it's talking about building a water treatment plant, which is a $60 million thing that we turned down multiple times. And at that time, we asked the water board to come back to us with plans and prices for what the water treatment plant would be, and also plans on what it would be if you just worked with the city of Fayetteville and bought that water from them, which would be a heck of a lot cheaper option, I think, than building our own water treatment plant. You know, we've been around that over and over again, so I wanna make sure that we're not approving a water treatment plant as a part of this, just because that was in the engineer's notes. I don't see how those comments really need to be included in the motion.
Okay.
Period.
Commissioner Hunter. Commissioner Hunter's recognized.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Jenny's notes are referring to the property on Old Quick, which
That's
was
what I said.
more like 130 or 40 homes possible. You know, so that's where that.
150, but it did, 150, but it didn't apply to
Okay.
that project per se. It was a broader conversation about a water treatment plant.
Okay. Does everybody realize what we're,
Mr. Chairman, I move the previous question.
all right. Okay. Everybody understand what you're voting on. Amendment, the motion to approve was to approve the change in the zoning. Then we had an amendment added to it that the engineer, well, the motion to approve it was based on finding out if we're bound for that, the developer to put in the water line and Lincoln Public Utilities to supply the pipes. Is that correct?
Materials, yes, sir.
Materials. Okay. Okay. On the,
On the amendment of the engineer's report.
yeah,
That's what we gotta go.
that's right. That's the amendment that the engineering report, I don't know what we do with it, but it's kind of got,
What they do with it, they say, yep, you put this in, Mr. Berry, you're good to go.
I mean, it's,
I'm comfortable with it.
okay. Everybody understand
Say it again.
that the change to R3 would be this body approving the engineer's report. I don't know how y'all gonna do that, but
No, I just said that it needs to be included in, the notes, yeah. Yeah. What was the recommendation to be included in that? I like data. I like to make the most informed decision, so,
So it would be reviewed along with.
Yes.
Is that right? Just
Yeah.
part of the review. But this is
Maybe
not-
with an approved design by Bob Ramsey that represents you guys, that says, this is what we're doing, it's approved by me.
he's fine
well,
with it.
Yes.
if you don't like it, turn it down. Okay.
So this engineer's report we're referring to is not about said property that we're trying to rezone, it's about another property that we're not
Every-
discussing about.
Everyone has an
Correct.
engineer's, everything out there comes with an engineer's report,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Roll call. If you vote yes on this, you're voting for the engineer's plan to be attached to the, I guess, what was voted on during the minutes with the Lincoln County Public Utilities. If you vote no, you forget that part of it.
All right, so we got two motions, right?
We've got an amendment to the motion.
Gotcha.
We're voting on the amendment now, which really has nothing to the particular do, but it changing, and then we'll be back to the motion whether it's amended or not. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Rolls-Walter,
Yes.
Hambrick, Brazran,
No.
Guntherberg,
No.
Bryant,
No.
Young. No. Haynes, Cunningham,
No.
Taylor,
No.
Nix,
No.
Eldridge,
Yes.
Spray,
No.
Tackett,
No.
Hunter,
No.
Mitchell,
No.
Ewan,
No.
Ashley,
No.
Rogers,
No.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Creason,
Yes.
Walker,
No.
Coley.
No.
Five voting yes, 17 voting no, 2 absent.
Okay. The amendment fails. Now we have back before the commission the motion to rezone it to R3 based on our attorney reviewing the motion or the minutes where that was approved and then coming back to us. So if this does pass, you understand until we get something from our attorney, it's not official.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any discussion on the amendment? Let's have a roll call, Madam Clerk.
No, not the amendment.
Motion, excuse me.
The motion or this right here?
The motion is to rezone.
Okay.
Yes, if you're in favor, no, if you're not.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes is to rezone, no is not. And it's still, we got a point that has to be brought to us, advising us whether that is binding or not binding, and then the discussion probably goes back to the water board on that then. Everybody okay?
Talking to them
Okay,
quickly.
let's call the roll.
Coley,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Creason, Caldwell, Rogers, Ashley,
Yes.
Ewan, Mitchell,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Tackett, Spray, Eldridge,
Yes.
Nix,
Yes.
Taylor,
No.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Haynes,
Yes.
Young, Bryant,
Yes.
Guntherberg,
Yes.
Frazran,
Yes.
Hambrick, Rolls Walter.
No.
Yes, 5 no, 2 absent.
Okay. The motion to rezone passes, but there's a caveat of review about the agreement between you and the water board. Everybody? Andy? You okay?
I'm waiting, I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, next item. Tracy Perkins, planning.
Let's see. The next file that we have is 2026-R4. This is consideration to call for a public hearing and vote next month at the County Commission meeting on August 18th. This is a rezone from A1 to A2, A1 agriculture to A2 suburban residential. It is at 353 Lees Creek Road. The owner would like to subdivide so that she can keep, there's already one home on that parcel. She wants to keep that one home. She wants to subdivide so that she can put another home on the other when she
Okay.
Anyway, she wants
Okay.
two homes. She wants her mother's home and her home there.
Okay. Any questions on that? I would entertain a motion for a call for public hearing on August 18th at 5:30. Commissioner Nix makes a motion, Commissioner Ewan seconds.
353 Lees
Any
Creek.
questions or discussions?
I'm sorry, who was the motion?
Commissioner Nix made the motion, Commissioner Ewan seconded. All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Unanimously approved. All right, you should have got in your packet, thank you, Ms. Perkins. There was a FYI in there on the local emergency management funding certificate. Any questions on that? It's the information item.
What is the rent agreement number? People included in
The
grant agreement. You said
Okay, this is a grant that it doesn't supplement, but it helps offset the salary of the director and the assistant director. It's 49,000 some odd cents.
I'm sorry, you said grant agreement number. What is the grant agreement number that authorizes this to be done?
Oh, I don't know what that number is. They did receive the grant. Any questions else I don't know the answer to? Okay, next item. Commissioner Cunningham, IDB report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Fellow commissioners, citizens of Lincoln County, my name is Doug Cunningham. I'm a county commissioner, chairman of the Joint City-County Industrial Oversight Committee, and tonight I'm updating the elected officials and Lincoln County citizens with our quarterly industrial board report. Just a point of information, according to the bylaws which established the IDB, only a written quarterly report is actually required to satisfy the agreement between the IDB and the city and the county. I've been doing this report all these years because I just thought it was a more effective and transparent way of
of relaying the information that you all need to keep abreast of industrial news. So I will say that it does take a lot of time for me to put it together. So, you know, obviously somebody else is gonna have to do that, or something else. Over the past 3 months, the IDB has remained focused on industrial recruitment, completing the construction of the spec building and any future site development to position Lincoln County for continued economic growth. I'd like to start tonight with the Runway Center Park. Construction is now complete on the 100,800 square foot spec building, a project that was supported by a $3.5 million Tennessee Economic and Community Development Site Development Grant, a $3.5 million grant. That's a huge state grant. They don't hand those out just to anybody. It's something that is telling about the relationship that we have with the state and everybody else. So this project was a pet project of the governor, and the money was somewhat limited. Our building was the very first spec building that was sold from this program. Not the first building built, but the first one sold. And this investment has provided Lincoln County with a competitive, move-in ready facility specifically designed for manufacturing. Since construction began last July, the IDB has been aggressively marketing the building, submitting it for dozens of projects. The response was strong, resulting in 10 company site visits, with companies evaluating not only the spec building, but other properties that are within the community. So that effort paid off, as the spec building was sold to Stella Jones, which will invest over $45 million in equipment and renovations and create 229 new jobs. We're so proud of Ms. Middleton and Emmy Lou and the board for all their hard work on this project, formerly known as Project Pillar. And they manufacture steel communication towers, and it's just a huge market for that kind of thing. This pretty much does it for Runway Center. We do still have the two small 2.5 acre lots that are at the very front of the park. They're too small for manufacturing, and hopefully we'll get a doctor's office or dentist office or a little engineering office or something along those lines that'll come into that location. But the manufacturing sites are all sold, and the IDB had paid the note off ahead of time. We got millions of dollars in grants for the sewer project, for water project, for site development project, and road construction. So, and not to mention the property tax dollars that we're going to be collecting for years and years, and the jobs that will support Lincoln Countyans for years to come. The $500,000 we paid for 100 acres has paid for itself many times over, and we're just getting started reaping the benefits. So let's now touch base on the Bullington Park. This is where Frankie is, where Motlow College is, right there. This parkland was purchased by the city in 1986, and that was before we even had an IDB. So this property kind of came into the association with setting up the IDB. We only have one lot left out there, and it's the one that's directly behind Motlow College. It actually wasn't much of a lot to start with, and it really wasn't even considered lot worthy in the beginning. But we got a TVA grant, and we kicked in some money, and we ended up making a pretty good lot out of it. Now let's talk about the Fayetteville Lincoln County Park. That's the one on out on the Winchester Highway there. This park was purchased by the county in 2000, and the city later came in for half of the purchase, and it was deeded to the IDB in 2004. We really didn't do anything with this site until 2011, when we got water, sewer, and a base road into the park. So within that park, let's first talk about the TMD building, or what I call the Agricel building, as they're the owner. Agricel has accepted a letter of intent from Copperweld, and the two parties have finalized a lease agreement which will start effective September the 1st. Copperweld's immediate plans for the facility include relocating warehousing and lab operations to this location. Also, over the next 3 years, they're going to add new manufacturing lines there, which will add new job creation at this location. Copperweld is also currently adding $40 million in equipment and will be hiring at its Cotton Mill location and its other East Park Drive locations. So Copperweld has been in Lincoln County since 1975. They are a huge part of our manufacturing base. The other big news at this park
is regarding Project Flow. This project remains active, and we have now moved into the due diligence phase of this process. The IDB has accepted confidential Project Flow's purchase and sale agreement at the end of June. The company now has 90 days from the start of that agreement to complete its assessment to ensure that the 250,000 square foot pad-ready site can accommodate the company's current and future site requirements for a new manufacturing facility. A boundary survey of the 53-acre site has been completed, and it will be recorded once the deal is finalized. It will be early October at best before we can expect any kind of announcement. So if everything works out, great news is on the way for that area. During my last report, I couldn't release information about the Stella Jones project, which was being announced the very next day. So I'm kind of in the same boat tonight. It's just very frustrating to know wonderful news and it's coming, but you can't talk about it yet. So because it's not a done deal. We only have one lot remaining in that park, and it's a smaller lot that's back towards the back. A 50,000 square foot building is the largest building that could be placed on that site, and that would probably be stretching it. That site also needs a lot of work. It's not a particularly good lot. I guess that's why it's the last one and still there. So basically the only site that we have available that could be used immediately is the one in the Bulletin Park. So we're down to one site that's ready for somebody to build on. Which now brings us to our discussion regarding the Horizon Park. This park has progressed through several stages with TDOT's project team. Meetings, both virtual and on-site, focused on aligning the access road, the right turn lane, the culvert for the creek, and then the cul-de-sac at the end of the road, with TDOT outlining a timeline of finalizing engineering drawings and environmental reports within 2026, and this would include the turn lane and the cul-de-sac area. Got right-of-way acquisitions and utility relocations are set to be completed in 2027, and the road construction itself would be completed from 2028 to 2029. And this aligned with TDOT's August 25 update, which recommended a right turn lane onto the site with right-of-way acquisition and utility locations set for 2027 and construction let for December of 28. Site certification remains in progress and is kind of tied to the completion of the road, which is the most critical of the infrastructure components. That road's being designed and constructed by TDOT at no cost to the county, representing a significant savings to the community. And the initial estimates were $2.4 million. Guarantee it's going to be a lot more than that. So, it'll be just the road itself will be more than what we paid for the property. While this project has experienced delays due to statewide resource constraints and major infrastructure repairs up in East Tennessee following Hurricane Helene, it still remains a priority for TDOT. And if you didn't get a chance to get up into East Tennessee, it's just unbelievable the road highway damage that they had up there. I mean, just whole communities just wiped off the map. So it took a lot of TDOT's money to start working on that area. Horizon Industrial Park was never intended as a short-term solution. It's a long-term investment to ensure Lincoln County remains competitive and ready when future manufacturing opportunities arise. However, as short as we are on industrial sites, this park could be, I guess, expedited pretty quick. So I have a lot of different things that I could talk about with you all with the activities of the board, but we'll probably be here another hour. I do have one more quick item that I'd like to talk about, something I feel like will pay big dividends in the future for us, and that's our regional partnership with the University of Tennessee Space Institute. The University of Tennessee, the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development, Coffee County, and Franklin County to attract defense and aerospace industries into this area. I just think this is going to be really big for us in the future. But we must have a professional industrial development arm, in order to take advantage of the opportunities that we'll have there. I want to thank our director, Elaine Middleton, for all her hard work. She is one of the best in this country. So fortunate to have her here. I also want to thank her assistant, Emmy Lou, for everything that she does. And I'd also like to thank all the board members who have served on the IDB since it started in 1989. The success of the last 10 or 15 years was built on the foundation that all those previous board members and directors built. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank you all for being supportive of the Industrial Development Board. Be happy to attempt to answer any questions that you all might have. Travis.
Something we spoke on earlier, I know you brought up, you had I believe the Park City Park, had a 2.5 acre tract. Would that not be suitable for the person that for the industry that's gotta be in an industrial park?
I don't know that he'd want to pay the price that they had on that thing. It was extremely expensive, that road front along the Huntsville Highway, those two lots. Seems like they were, way up over close to $300,000. I don't know that I would want to pay that. I'm not really sure whether that could be approved or not, but the guy could check it out and see. I know that they have turned down some retail things like some car lots and a manufactured home place that wanted to come in and sell homes there. I know that, so there are some rules with that. So it might be worth him checking out. And we had talked earlier about, I guess about a year ago, there was a cabinet shop that was wanting to come into Horizon Park, and it only had a couple, 3 jobs and wasn't paying very much, and there wasn't much of an investment. It was like an 8,000 square foot building, and the board had turned him down. I think it was a 6-1 vote, maybe. I wasn't there at that meeting. I think the mayor was there at that meeting, but anyway, they had turned that project down. So possibly, might check into that, and ought to really check into this other lot that's out there at the Fayetteville Lincoln County Park, the one that's back there in the back.
We know he's not looking for 50,000 square foot building.
Yeah, so that's the problem, is we're looking at stuff that's, and it's rare that you're going to have anything much less than 100,000. If you look at the plans for Horizon, I mean, those are 200,000 square foot buildings, 150,000 square foot buildings. It's bigger stuff that we're looking for in these industrial parks, as much as they cost to put together. So it just takes a while. That answer you?
I want you to thank you, Doug, and I want to thank Miss Elaine. Y'all are doing a wonderful job out there. But I have got so much grief over this Richardson property. They don't probably know that it's called the Horizon property out there. Why in the world did we spend all of that money out there and nothing has been done? I keep telling them TDOT is taking care of a lot of the stuff that's out there, and if Lincoln County doesn't have the property for industrial development, we're in trouble. Now, just like you said, all the lots that are available now are just about gone. And I've had 2 or 3, I'm not gonna call any names, but I'd like to call them what I think they are, because they don't want industrial development to occur in this county. So there's where I stand, and I'm all in favor of industrial development in here. If we haven't got the land, we don't have the jobs, we don't have the infrastructure, and guess where everybody's gonna go? They're gonna go to Huntsville, Alabama down there, and there's the tax money going down there. And if we could have all that good industrial development here with good jobs here, the tax money would stay here, and Lincoln County would be a hell of a lot better off. Thank you. I'm gonna get off my horse.
Yes. Other question, John?
I got a question, and I may just have a misunderstanding. In around February, we voted for Now we know Stella Jones to agree to them a pilot. I thought we were supposed to get their contract back up here to vote on their contract for coming in. I don't recall voting on their contract.
Yeah, we don't vote on those contracts.
Well,
and I don't know who's got rule on that, but hey, if somebody will bring me the state law
It
that,
was so preliminary, either we're gonna give them a pilot or not, then we'd get a chance to vote on their contract.
Well, I can straighten everything out because we hadn't done it right for so long. This one didn't get done exactly right. They did send, after I asked, they sent me the contract. I reviewed it. Everything in there was basically what we had agreed to. And this thing was down the road a little. It wasn't time to upset the card on it. But you're exactly right. Here's what's supposed to occur. When the company comes here and they want to come in and they have, with IDB, they have negotiated, a contract, and they've requested that there be a pilot program, then they're supposed to call for a public hearing. At that time, after the public hearing, then it comes before the commission. Then after the commission approves or doesn't approve, they have a contract developed by their attorney between them and the company, and then it is supposed to come back for approval. Now, they got it to me after I requested it, but it did not get back to y'all. And it was in the way it's supposed to work. You're right.
I thought the paper published it, we all unanimously agreed to the contract, and I couldn't remember voting.
And it's, if anybody wants to take fault in it, I did get to see it, but I knew how far it was down and the timing on it and stuff. But all the stuff in there and the clawbacks that they had in there were proper, and so at that point, somebody, I discussed it with somebody today, but hopefully in the future, it'll be done by those rules, but that is the way it's supposed to operate.
well, the attorney for the IDB had never heard of anything like that regarding an authority body. When you've got an authority that's running your industrial recruitment arm, that's a whole different set of laws, whole different ballgame. I'm sure there is a law out there that says, hey, if you got your county mayor and you don't have a industrial arm, a professional industrial arm out there recruiting for you, and it's the county commission's decision to make, yeah, you got to review those contracts. But if anybody would get me the law that you think says that we're supposed to approve those contracts, I'll be happy to get it to the IDB attorney so he can take a look at it. But I mean, that takes away the whole purpose of having a industrial development board. We've turned it over to them for them to be able to handle contracts on our behalf, and also to negotiate on our behalf. It's our job to set the terms of the pilot, which is what we did. That's our responsibility. And we don't have any responsibilities after that. So,
Well, we do too, because it's the taxpayers' money that's covered by that pilot, and they should see what's in the contract. They're not approving the contract, but they're approving what's in that contract about the pilot.
And everything was in there, just like.
It was, but it's supposed to come back for them to review it.
Well,
The mayor has no authority. Mayor has no authority to approve that.
And the governor of the state, said, okay, let's roll with this thing and put it out there as an announcement. And what are we going to do? Come back and bring the contract after everybody's okayed it and say, yeah, we don't approve it? I mean, how's that going to work?
We're not at the state level of government. We're at the base of county government.
That's what I
Lincoln
mean.
County.
So, but anyway, I disagree with that completely, that the contract would have to be approved by this body.
Rules and regulations, then it's still, we got a copy of it at the beginning, then, if we've got two conflicting rules there.
If you'll get me the law, the state law that says we've got to do that, I'll be happy to get that checked out for you. Other questions? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. All right. Mary Beth Seals, H.H. Lincoln President. How about a report?
How about a report? How about some good news? How about that? Y'all ready for it? Woo! I'm gonna Pollyanna you up. What about that? Okay. Well, so this is what I want to start with. I think the next time I come in December, we might have a little change of guard. Is that right? Some of you may not be up here. And I just want to say thank you. This is my, I come twice a year, and we're 4 years in now, and Lincoln Health thanks you for your support, because you are supportive and you back what we do. And I would be lying if I didn't say there's a lot of good things happening at Lincoln Health. But sometimes everything's not good that happens, right? In everything that we do every day. Sometimes you wake up to a negative message on Facebook, that's happened this week, or, for every good deed that we do, Jeff Sam says that in the healthcare world. Somebody's celebrating a victory in the ER, a really good visit upstairs on the inpatient floor. Somebody had a really good workout at the Patrick, but somebody had to wait 30 minutes when they came for a test in radiology because we forgot about them when we checked them in. It's just the real world. It happens. I want you to know that I know about it. I know about it every time it happens, guys. If you're listening in the audience, we know about it, and we're working every single day to make it better, and I want you to know that. But we thank you for choosing Lincoln Health. I'm fighting every day to make this the best healthcare system in the state of Tennessee. I'm just telling you, that's what I want because I think it can be, and I know you want that too. So just want you to know from the community side, from the hospital side, I'm really excited to say this is budget time, and we're getting really close to finalizing our capital budget. And what's ahead at the hospital is probably a new MRI for the community. So we're really, really excited about that. The MRI is about 17 to 18 years old. And if you've been lately to have an MRI, you know that it's partially down, meaning that we can't do extremities right now. And also, the best way to say this is if you're taller or larger in size, sometimes people don't want to have their MRI at Lincoln Health. Our bore is smaller in size, and so sometimes people go to just a bigger place. Sometimes they may go on down to Huntsville Hospital and have it done where just that hole is larger and it's a better experience. So I'm excited to say that we'll be working in the next year to put an upgrade in on the MRI, and I'm really excited about that. So that's something you'll be getting to share in. Got some really good upgrades coming for Donaldson too. We continue to work really hard to make upgrades at Donaldson. I've talked to you about just the building. It's an older building, right? Some of our buildings are. They're near 30, 35 years old, and we've got to do things that aren't always shiny and fancy, but they're needed. So like kitchen equipment. You wouldn't believe how excited the staff is about getting some new kitchen equipment. An oven makes people really happy. I want you to know that. New ovens, new coolers, refrigerators. So I'm really excited about things like that and look forward to telling you about it. The Patrick Rehab and Wellness, if you're listening or if you've been, I feel like some of you out there are some of my pool people. If you've been to the Patrick lately, then you know the pool is down. And that makes the front page news sometimes. I'll just tell you, that's a hot topic when that pool is down and you can't get in there. So we're in the maintenance time of year for the pool, and what we do is we go in there and we drain it, we freshen the water. It's a gunite pool, so we have a gentleman come in. He's been working on the pool for about 30 years, and he checks the plaster and does some repair. And we actually had some holes in the bottom of the pool, believe it or not. We had some water that was underneath the pool, so we're actually doing an entire plaster repair of the pool right now. So it was supposed to be down a week. It's going to be down 3 weeks. So we should be opening back up the first week of August, but it's allowing us to take some good time to do some repairs that were needed. So we're excited about that. Also really excited about next week we'll be shut down some to replace 13 pieces of equipment that are really needed. So workout equipment. We have some folks that are really happy about that. It's interesting that people get happy, but they don't want us to shut down for that. So people tell us that, they tell us that we should be open while we're doing that. So we're dealing with that. So you help us out if you get a complaint about us being closed while we're doing this work, but it is good work. I also like to talk a little bit about EMS, just like to give you a little update on each place. I'm always proud of EMS. We stay right around that 550 to 600 calls a month. And we're working daily to keep 5 trucks on the road. So 5 trucks is the goal. I'd say every day we've got 4 trucks, but we try to staff that 5th truck so that we can go to Taft. And we're not at Taft every day, but we're working to get to Taft, 7 days a week like we are everywhere else, like we are in Park City and we are in Fayetteville. So when we're in Taft, we're there at least 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're working hard to get that station up and running, working with the EMA office so that we can stay there 12 and then to 24 hours. So the summer's tough. It's hot in the summer, and then in the dead in the winter, it's really cold. So the county's been great to work with us on that. And of course, as usual, the community really loves us in Taft. Just want to say Lincoln Home Health and Hospice, they of course have been named a U.S. News and World Report Best Home Health. So we're really happy for that. Huntsville's really proud of us about that. But as I say, when you're the best, or you're named the best, that opens you up to a lot of, vulnerability, being vulnerable. I can't say that word tonight. I'm sorry, it's late. It's about bedtime, isn't it? So we have to be careful and know that we are still able to make mistakes, and we know that and recognize those mistakes. I want to let you know that when we're really good at something, we want to be really good at it, and when we're named the best, we want to take that honor. But like I said in the beginning, recognize when we can do better and when we can work hard. I'll close with recruitment. So recruitment is what keeps us alive and thriving, and we get a lot of calls about recruitment all the time. When are you getting this? When are you getting more of that? Happy to say, I'll start with primary care. So today, we actually sold our building just off the square, our Elk Avenue location. We sold and closed on that building today. And we are now just behind Carter's at Stone Bridge. I'm sure as most of you know, we moved that primary care building to that location. And we're doing really well there, and it's been a much better location for everybody to be on one level practicing together. So we have 3 doctors and 3 nurse practitioners in that location. They all moved over from FMA, and I'm really excited about next year. We already have 2 new primary care doctors hired to start next year. I know that's next year, but remember, we're always planning for the future. And then we're talking to a new primary care candidate for 28 and 29. Because we want to plan for the future. We have a lot of physicians in this community who have been here a long time, but they're planning for retirement, and we have to be planning for that as well. Really happy about our women's health program. At Lincoln Health, it's really taken off. We've just hired a new FPOB, so primary care, but she delivers babies as well. Her name is Sarah Beth Bush. We hired her from the Pulaski community. And then a new women's health nurse practitioner who joined Dr. Michael Nobles, who is our current OBGYN. And then I'm sure you've heard the Heart Center's come to town finally, and that's something that we've really, really wanted. We have a ribbon cutting tomorrow at the hospital from 12 to 1 to celebrate their arrival. We have a nurse practitioner there 5 days a week and a doctor 2 days a week. And I look at you and tell you, I know that's not enough. I know we have to have a doctor supported in the community more than 2 days a month, and we'll be working towards that. Because as most of you know, I know there's a lot of people, I've talked to some of you who were St. Thomas patients. And I want to go on the record to say St. Thomas was in our community for a very long time. They have been here since the early 2000s, and they actually will have their last week in Fayetteville next week. For I think no reason that's negative whatsoever, but I think the volume supports them moving along and going back to some of their other satellite clinics. I think they're going to be in Pulaski and Winchester, but they will not have a presence in Fayetteville anymore. But they have served this community for a very long time, and they are to be commended for that work. So there will be some of you I know looking for a cardiologist, but we will try to support that need here locally in Fayetteville at the Heart Center. So if we can help you, please dial us up. We'll talk to you at any time. But just know, if somebody asks me, what are we working on at the health system, it's growth. If we're not growing, we're dying, is my thought. And so we want to be growing and building and making sure that you are shopping Fayetteville first for your health care. Right, Mr. Bill?
That's right.
Okay. Any questions? Okay.
I just want to say thank you for what you do, and having a great hospital and a great school system contribute to industry recruitment. It truly takes a team, and so thank you for your contributions. And who all served on the hospital board? I know Mr.
Okay,
Anthony
the
did.
2 that come to mind long term. Anthony Taylor, he was the chairman of the board, and he was there from 2010 until 22. And Commissioner Ogle was the vice chair, or no, secretary. I was vice chair for a little while. But those 2 went through. You have to realize in 1998, there were people who had lost election for commissioner because they did not vote for doing a new hospital. Shortly after that election, there was a referendum held, and it was led by St. Mary's Episcopal Church, the minister that was there then, and it passed 75% for, 25% against it. But there was people who laid their political lives on the line at that time and didn't get elected. Commissioner Ogle was one of those that lost that and came back the next time and was reelected. But there's been a lot of political influence there. Now we've got it where hopefully the politics are out of it so much, and it's I just appreciate what you're doing, what Anthony did, what Donnie Ogle did, and those people that lost their political life basically in 1998. Sometimes you don't have all the heroes in front of you when they need to be thanked, but there was people that stood up for what was right and was counted, and the people decided they didn't want them on there. But 3/4 the people of Lincoln County wanted what we got now at the new hospital. So, Anthony and Tori, tell you, Daddy, I think he's a pretty good guy, and we appreciate his service too, because it's gone through a lot.
There were names like Jack Ashley, David, John Paul,
Okay.
Ben Brown, a lot of other people.
Okay.
Who helped keep that facility going to where it is today.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
What are you doing to address the amount of ambulance calls that we have? I know on a couple occasions we've had to pull ambulances out of different counties because we weren't staffed well enough.
I remember that. So our mutual aid partner is in Moore County, and so on occasion, we do have to use Moore County. The Fayetteville Fire Department is great to help us too. But I will say, so when I started in 2022, we had 2 ambulances running in the county, and that was a scary situation. And we are much better staffed today. And matter of fact, we're staffed with ALS trucks, so that's Advanced Life Support trucks. And at least today, 4 of them were advanced with 1 BLS. So I can tell you that our staffing, I mean, we are almost what we consider ourselves to be fully staffed. We would like 3 running out of Maine, 1 at South, and 1 at Taft all the time. And we are closer to that than we have ever been as I stand here today. So it is much better, and I want the county to rest assured in knowing that. Yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Jim Malone, Leadership Lincoln Director.
Good afternoon, good evening. She did all of that with no notes. That was great. And I'm so impressed with our hospital here. I called Dora Barnes and asked her that I could come and speak to you tonight, and she gave me 5 minutes. The sheriff just gave me 30 seconds, so I'm somewhere in between, kind of a rock and a hard place. But first off, who has a graduate of Leadership Lincoln in this room? Wow, wow. Look around, folks. These people know more about the city and county, how it operates, than they did before they went through Leadership Lincoln. In 1986, a group of citizens formed Leadership Lincoln. We're one of the oldest leadership programs in the state of Tennessee, and we're the only one that's totally self-sufficient. We've never come and asked you for any money. We never will come and ask you for any money. Right, Jason? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're totally self-sufficient. We do our own fundraiser. We do our own board of directors. We give back. The project that's near and dear to my heart is Kids Park. That was a 3-year involvement, 1 year for leadership. It took us 2 more years to build it. I know every nut and bolt on that playground. I'd do it again in a moment. There's numbers of other projects that we've done over the years. This past year, they just revamped a cemetery that was in horrible disrepair. We had the 3rd baby box in the state of Tennessee. And that's a tough situation, but that gives you an idea of how great Lincoln County is, that we recognize that situation and put in the 3rd baby blocks in the state of Tennessee. We give back. The Kids Park project alone then was $385,000. It cost the city and county zero. Today it'd be $1 million. And I frequent that park often, and there's kids from all over the country come and participate. What I'm asking y'all tonight is, if you haven't been through Leadership Lincoln, we're taking applications. You don't always get accepted on the first year. You make your application. Hopefully, if you don't the first year, you'll get the second year. And it's well worth it. Don't tell me I've lived in this county all my life and I know there is everything to know about it. Walt, how long you lived here? You learn anything leadership?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's amazing what you learn. And then I tell people, the very least you'll get out of it is 30 new friends.
That's right.
What year did you go through, Daniel? 99. So you were right after I went through. Yeah, okay. There's a few brochures over here. If you haven't gone through leadership, if you're thinking about running for public office, it looks good on your resume. If you want to learn about your city and county, if you want to give back, get an application. We assist you with the Chamber of Commerce. There's applications there. My phone number is 931-993-9438. I'll be glad to answer any questions about leadership possible. Thank you all very much.
And one thing, Jim, if you think you can't afford it, how much is tuition now?
It's the cheapest in the state.
400?
Yes.
There are sponsors out there. If you want to go and you think you can't afford, all you need to do is let our office know, or let Chamber know, or Jason know. We can find a way for you that it's not going to be money out of your pocket if you don't think you have it. And it's
and we can share that.
Yeah.
Some of them do half of it, and their sponsor does half of it.
Yeah.
Any questions? Thank y'all very much. Y'all are an awesome group. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jim. Commissioner Bryant, you never thought it was coming, did you?
Thought it was going to be all
Let's
night.
have a budget report.
We do have a little bit of change in the way this report is written and sent to you. I'm in favor of some of that, but hey, I'm going to do it. We had a little AI involved in this. We're doing a little recording in this. The way I'm going to read this is I'm going to read the actionable items.
Okay.
It's there for you to read the other things. The goal was we had some questions about not being enough detail maybe in some of our minutes in general. So this is a stab at trying to fix that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to read them like I want to. All right. The Budget Committee of the Lincoln County Legislative Body met pursuant to due notice on July the 7th, 2026 at 5 o'clock at the EMA office. All members were present. We were called to order by Commissioner Cunningham. There were no public comments. Item number 1, County Mayor's report. He had a lengthy update about the dead stock animal pickup program. That program is in transition. The South Central Development District, under the leadership of Paul Rosin, decided to stop overseeing the dead animal pickup program. A remaining balance of over $200,000 from that line was subsequently moved to the Development District's general fund. Bullet 2. Oversight. Thanks to the efforts of Sarah Brown and Morgan Flowers at the South Central Human Resource Agency, their organization is moving forward to take over the oversight possibly of this program. Service provider and bidding. The current service provider is continuing temporary collections. An RFP has been issued and they were due by the 14th of this month, and a contract slated for the award of sometime around the 15th in that area. The system and fees, this is a change, so anybody that's got cows should listen up. The program will transition to an AI-driven call-in system. You will have to have a credit card or some type of electronic payment to use this system. The balance of budget, those fees are no longer going to be enough, so the farmer will initially, what's proposed will be $50 per animal. So if you call and you've got a stock that's dead or whatever, $50 per animal. There are some lightning strikes and things of that nature where you have a lot of animals killed. That'll be taken into consideration that in some way. The contract, you might want to talk about that a little bit. It was clarified that the county's contract runs from July through the end of June, which mirrors our fiscal budget year. Those were all basically information items. Item 2, EMA Director Report. EMA Doug Cunningham presented the following items. He requested to surplus a 2005 Ford Explorer. The action to that item was, the motion was made by Commissioner Ewan, seconded by Commissioner Cunningham. This motion carried 7-1.
What's the will of the commission? Commissioner Walker makes a motion. Do I have a second? Commissioner Creason seconds that. Any discussion? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Unanimously approved. Commissioner Bryant.
Following bullet, tire project update. Director Cunningham noted that the Boones Hill property lease with AT&T has been signed by the mayor and has been sent back to him. Item 3, Finance Director's report. 2006 tax relief resolution. This has been presented for the 4th consecutive year of matching tax relief program. The county will match the state's tax relief allowance, and that's attached. The action on that, we had a motion by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Spray, and that motion passed unanimously.
What's the will of the commission on this item? Commissioner Frazran makes the motion. Commissioner Walker seconds. Any questions or discussion? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Unanimously approved. Commissioner Bryant.
Budget amendments, Fund 101, they're attached. We had a motion by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Bryant. That motion passed unanimously.
What's the will of the commission on this item?
Move we concur.
Commissioner Bryant makes a motion. Do I have a second? Commissioner Cunningham seconds it. Any discussion, questions? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Unanimously approved. Commissioner Bryant.
All right, financial statements, they're attached. We had a motion by Commissioner Caldwell, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. That motion also passed unanimously.
What's the will of the commission on this? Commissioner Taylor makes a motion for approval. Commissioner Mitchell seconds. Any questions? All in favor of approval of that, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Unanimously approved. Commissioner Bryant.
Personnel meeting notice, Commissioner Brown announced that a personnel committee will be held at 5:00 p.m. on July the 21st downstairs in the conference room. That meeting was held tonight. Grant writer, Commissioner Taylor inquired about the status of the grant writer. There was a discussion held about the tax reserve account. There was also a discussion held about the old Patrick Hospital building. And last item, we had a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Spray, seconded by Commissioner Hambrick, and passed unanimously to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next item, Notary Publics, Madam Clerk.
Have Leslie Albrooks by Commissioner Nix, Judy Flint by Commissioner Mitchell, Diane Rozier by Commissioner Walker, Lori A. Jean by Commissioner Cunningham, and Penny Massey by Commissioner Guntherberg.
Any additions? Would entertain a motion for approval of those people. Commissioner Walker makes a motion. Commissioner Mitchell seconds. All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Floor is now for new business. The only commissioner that said she may have someone needing to speak in this is Commissioner Rogers. She's gone.
Julie Hughes.
You got somebody? Okay.
I'm just dipping my toes in this for the first time. So I am a small business owner, Pampered Paws. And I'm noticing this year that we're having, it's the worst year in Lincoln County, period, for dumping animals. And what I'm finding is nobody seems to know everything is going. Everybody seems to be very confused about a lot of topics on this situation. There's only so many rescues we can all take in. And this is a serious, serious problem in Lincoln County. I have not seen a single politician here running that has even mentioned it in their campaign, that they want to help get this together and help the animals. And so I guess my question would be, I found out that there's some land that's been acquired for the shelter, for this new shelter. But when is this going to happen? When are we going to actually build a new shelter for these animals? The dumping that's going on is because there's no place to put these animals. People don't have a place to go. Streets aren't, I mean, I've already rescued litters of kittens and 2 hunting dogs, because it's, you know, hunting season, whatever. But it's maddening. It's frustrating, and the people that I deal with are all very like-minded, like myself, and they're very frustrated because they don't understand what's going on with the Humane Society and the animal control and who's running who. And I've spoken to somebody in the animal control, and she was very, very nice. And she said, I would love to go out and get these dogs, but I'm only one person. I can't, they need help down there. I have lots of ideas. Licensing, dog licensing. Why is there no licensing? Why are there no fees for dogs running at large? The same people are letting their dogs run at large over and over, and the pound is calling them saying, oh, guess what, your dog is here again, ha ha. It's not a joke, you know. It's something that we need to get some revenue going for this situation. The feral cat situation is horrendous. It's as a groomer, I see it. You know, these people have their dogs in town, and there's feral cats running around, and they're fighting fleas and ticks and diseases. It's just really pitiful. So my biggest question right now is, when is this shelter going to happen?
If you're looking at
Somebody?
government moves slower than I like it and anybody involved in it, but a lot of times, and I want to thank Commissioner Nix on following through, because we've been working about, how many years was it to get the property from the time that we thought we were going to get it?
Mr. Rose Walters brought it to us about 18 months ago, I guess. It took about that long just to actually get the land from Daikin donated. It came, I don't know how her contacts happened, she can explain that, but regardless, once I got that contact, I jumped right on it. It took them literally through Tokyo and all their Japan stuff. That took a while, a long while. And then through their board of directors, which was cross seas once again, then the attorneys. That whole process took a good 18 months, almost 2 years, just to get the land donated. Of course, it's one of those things where they're donating land, so it's kind of hard to push when they're giving it to you, not when they're giving 9.9
But now we have it.
True, but we
have
just got it. Like literally, when I say we just put it.
But what I'm hearing is
months ago.
two different things. I'm hearing it's years down the road, and I'm hearing no, it's not years down the road. It's gonna happen. That's
Well,
where
let me
frustrated.
interject now is, the city and county, you know, now run the shelter, and we have meetings about every 6 weeks to review what all's needed out there, how things are going. At our last meeting last week, we want to go, Coffee County just opened their new shelter. we don't have a date, but we're planning to go see it. Madison also has a new one too. Coffee counties cost $2 million to build, but here was one of the good things, and it's in our plan too, is $1 million of it was donated by 4 different people. So the actual taxpayers of Coffee County, it was $1 million. Our next one is to go visit those, then get an artist architectural rendition, because we want people to donate it too. But if you don't see it, you don't believe it, and you need a timeline of doing it, and that's going to occur, but it's not going to occur in the term of mine nor these people here. But the city and county are really working good together now, and this is one of the things, you know, that we've done real well. And there is, like you said, there is a good staff out there, and commend the sheriff and what they're doing with the trustees as far as the work out there and the help that they do. And it goes back to Murray also, before Tull. So
How many inmates are working out there?
one far as like.
How many inmates do we have here in Lincoln County?
How many inmates? Well, it's not the only thing that we got. We got one that's with maintenance and several others as project needy. I don't know how many's on the workforce. Okay.
That can go out and work in different areas in Lincoln County? Is that it? So there's only one that's qualified to work out there at the shelter? Is that it?
One that helps when needed, an extra one.
Because what I'm hearing, right now there's a
Okay,
an
I'm going to
issue.
get. You were supposed to, and I didn't announce it. My apologies. 5 minutes by the
Okay.
public to
Well,
address the commission.
So that was my biggest question, was about when the shelter, you know, so that because
I understand you, and we have not done a real good job of publicizing where we are, but now Laura Monks is working on that with the newspaper to get out more things. Here's where we are, here's how we're working, but a lot of times when they can't get one, a lot of times it's not manpower, it's full out there, and they just don't have the capacity to take it. But now they let those people know when it comes a vacancy where they can either bring them in or we'll come get them.
And how much is the fee if somebody wants to drop off an animal at the animal control? How much is that fee?
I don't know, but there is a fee for that, and if you're getting your own pet, there's a fee too. So,
But can anybody answer
I
that?
couldn't tell you what the fee schedule is.
I'm sorry?
City of Fayetteville can answer that.
Okay. As I've heard, it's really exuberant, like huge.
Pardon?
And that's, you know, people can't afford, if they have a pet that they've gotten off the street that they're trying to save, and they say, okay, that'll be $150. I've heard it's $150.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
on
if
that.
that's true or not.
But I can find that
Yeah.
out for you.
But, okay, so that's where I'm at. I'm trying to answer some questions for other people as well, because people seem to be coming to me because I'm in the industry, and it seems like there's a lot of confusion going on.
I'll get you the fee schedule. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you had.
I know zoning's been a hot topic tonight, but my question is, a couple meetings back, we had 11 commissioners that turned down the proposed zoning to help out small businesses and to add an adjacent structure to their property. I think it was a 5-acre road, maximum 5,000 property, but then that motion failed. And it was sent out to all these commissioners to ask, you know, what we needed to do to change this to make it better. And the 11 that voted no on it, not a word from them. I mean, even had one, my good buddy Ricky here, said in the current form, I have to vote no, but he didn't come back with no responses or amendments. So I'm just questioning the commissioners, what do y'all want us to do to help out small businesses to be able to allow to make a living? And that's something we need to think about before the next meeting and try to bring this up again and get it passed through instead of kicking the can down the road again. I mean, I talked to Doug earlier about a man that wants to build cabinets, but he can't buy property anywhere in the county that's even listed as commercial to put his cabinet shop in because he has to be in an industrial park because his cabinetry is considered industrial work. And that's just something we all need to think about. For Lincoln County to grow, prosper, provide jobs, whether it be 3 or 10 or 500, it's always a job and somebody's lifestyle. That's just what I wanted to say.
Okay. Commissioner Rose Walter was the next one I saw.
Before I ask someone to come and speak, they wanted to speak tonight. So at the last planning and zoning meeting, y'all said that y'all were going to discuss Commissioner Brazerin and my suggestions. When was that meeting going to be scheduled?
We're gonna have a work session immediately after the next, meeting, isn't that what we said, Mr. True? August 3rd. So it's after the planning commission meeting, we're gonna have a work session dedicated just toward revising that proposal.
One of my suggestions was the cabinetry would be one of the approved items, but I concur that's something that, we don't need to continue to drag our feet on and addressing that and ADUs.
By the way, everybody's invited to that. It's the planning commission is 6 o'clock on the first Monday, which will be the 3rd, but then immediately after this next one will be the work session on that topic, so we'd love to have participation.
Same place?
Yes, in the basement.
I'd like to recognize Jude Jennings.
Five minutes.
Thank you, Jenny. First, I'd like to point out, thank you for trying to postpone that tonight so that people could make an informed decision. Something people are not considering on this is they're looking at, you allowed Mr. Brown to come up here, and I don't have anything against Mr. Brown, okay? He's trying to make money. But you allowed him to come up here and sell you a used car that he knows has sugar in the gas tank. Let me put it like that. He knows that, all right? And once he sells it to you, like he did tonight, it's gonna be on you to fix the problem. The problem is not the size of the water mains going down the highway, it's the availability of water. Now, I wasn't trying to be rude to you when I said that, but when you made your comment, my point was, we don't have the available water. And if any of you would have actually called Haney Engineering to find out what was in that engineering report like I did, you would know that the reason he only recommended it on the basis of there being a new pump station and being phased in over 5 years is because he knows that the current system is operating at its maximum capacity. It can't handle anymore. It don't matter if you put in a 50-inch main. If there's not enough water to supply the system, it's pointless. You can't supply a system. FPU is pumping its maximum capacity to that area. They cannot supply any more water to that area. So what you're gonna do when you approve that, okay, yeah, he's gonna upgrade those to 8-inch mains. That's gonna give him 500 GPMs per minute, which is required by state law to supply a residential community. But what's that do to the other people down the line on 2-inch mains still? All right, you just brought our water to a trickle, which means the fire department can't even hook to my hydrant if my house is on fire, my neighbor's house is on fire, because they can't pump 500 gallons per minute. It's only gonna put out about 250. If you don't believe me, you can ask your water guy. They're operating at maximum capacity currently. FPU cannot supply any more water. It's not about the size of the mains, it's about the availability. I know this because I do this for a living every day. I have to deal with water issues every time a zoning request comes to my municipality. I have to go look at it and make sure that there is enough water to be supplied to that area. And then I make my recommendation to the Planning and Zoning Committee. But if any of you would have at least done that and waited, like she said, and did your research, you might would have known that, but none of you did. You allowed him to sell you a used car filled with sugar in the gas tank. And now that affects me and my neighbors down the road. Every one of us is now affected once that's done because there's not enough available water. And if you're looking at the Richardson property, no offense to what you said earlier, but you can't build an industrial at the Richardson property. You know why? Because there's not enough water to supply an industry there. And some of you think, well, we'll put in a fire pump. Okay, yeah, you can do that, but you know what happens first time it cuts on? It cavitates. You just destroyed an $80,000 water pump. There's not enough water to supply an industrial building. You're not gonna be able to supply, you might can build a couple of Dollar Generals, a couple of gas stations, but that's all you're gonna get enough water for. They have to, by state law, they have to supply fire suppression for an industrial building. They don't have the water to supply it. I promise you, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna send someone in to do hydraulic calculations. That's the first thing they're gonna do before they ever propose that. They're gonna say, this is what we wanna do. What's the hydraulic calculations? They're gonna get with the water people. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna see how much water's available. And when they see there's no water available, they're gonna say, when you build that pump station on the Elk River, we'll come build our industrial building. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna build it for you. They're not gonna drop $80 million when they can go right down there across the state line where they've already done that. Because they had to do that a long time ago. Because they had the same thought he did. Hey, let's just put a lot of houses on a small piece of land. Yeah, that's a genius idea in theory until you realize, oh, wait, gosh, we don't have the availability infrastructure to support it. Did anybody get with the power company? Did anybody check with them to see if we're going to have to buy more power from FPU? Is anybody's utility bill going to go up because it's going to require more power? Did any of you do your homework? I know one of you did because I spoke to you, but I know the rest of you didn't. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I've got 2 items if I may.
Well, you've already been recognized one. Go ahead. He allows you to go first.
All right, 2 items. One, really quick, I noticed several people from the Humane Society here, and I would just like to thank you for your invaluable contributions to the community. You help pick up the slack in a lot of situations. You sew in, and your tireless efforts do not go unseen. So I give you an applause for all of you. And the second thing that I would like to address, and I know y'all get tired of me talking about stuff, but I am a teacher. Minutes are important. We saw they were important tonight. They were referenced in a vote that we took earlier. In the rules and legislation, the revised ones that were presented to us on 8A, and I quote, it says, "And further, all committees be urged to keep a record of the minutes for each meeting." So we have 36 committees. Some meet every month, some meet once a year, some meet quarterly, some don't meet at all. But there's no way that we can attend every single one of those meetings. So when we prepare for our monthly commission meeting, it is imperative that things are listed in there. This month, the meetings minutes that we accepted, I would like to hit on 2 of those. The rules and legislation minutes from June 15th, it does not have who attended or spoke in addition to the committee members or what item they spoke on. That's important. If I can't go to a meeting and a commissioner comes and speaks on an issue that's important, that alerts me that I need to be paying attention to whatever this item is. The fire EMA meeting on July 14th, in addition to the committee members, it's got those, but it does not list who spoke on what items. I know 3 commissioners at least were there that spoke on 3 different items that I believe preempted a line of questioning to be sent outside of the committee, and that wasn't listed in there. And I was asked to go on behalf of my district because they're concerned about fire protection in District 8 due to some issues that are going on right now. So that wasn't in the minutes. So an issue sometimes can be breeding and arising. We don't even know about it until it's at our front door. It's imperative that our minutes reflect that. So one of the emails that I send to our new attorney is going to be that we do have some sort of format for what has to be included in the minutes. We have to make educated decisions. The minutes need to reflect what is going on in the meetings. I commend Commissioner Nix for his suggestion and Commissioner Anthony Taylor. He's been pushing for AI minutes for a long time, but you have actually integrated them, and I think that that's going to be a contributing factor for success moving forward. The minutes need to have this information in there. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Cunningham.
Just a real quick thing, Mr. Chairman, but after those comments there a second ago, so misleading. You know, I've been involved with this trying to get water down to that area for years and years, just to Lincoln County in general. If we work with FPU and get a contract with them, they can upgrade their water system so they can supply us more water. We just simply won't do it. And we have been bent and determined, our system over the years, to build our own water treatment plant. And where last we left them, we said, hey, bring us figures on what a new water treatment plant would cost versus what it would cost to work with FPU and let them upgrade their capabilities so they could supply us more water. I'm sure that's a cheaper thing, but they'll never get that information to us. So no, we have begged for that information and begged for the upgrades, but it just hadn't gotten done over the years. So no, I absolutely have done my research and done it years and years ago. So that'll be my last comments on that. My last meeting is next month, and as it so happens, I have a surgery the day before that last meeting, and it's going to be a surgery involving something with my mouth. So if I do, I am able to attend here, I probably won't be able to talk. So I wanted to thank the voters of the 6th District for putting me in office 8 terms, 32 years that I've served this county, and I have done it to the best of my abilities, and I have talked to everybody in my district. It's been a generational thing, you know. The people that first elected me, is their grandkids now that are elected me, and I feel so old with Mary Beth still here. Here she is. When I first became a commissioner, she was the FPU, worked for FPU, and filmed the meetings and stood next to me. I was still standing in that same spot that I'm at now, and she filmed that. I guess she was a teenager, probably not much past that. But what a wonderful job that she's done with the hospital. It makes me feel really old. But I do want to thank all the commissioners and everybody that I've served with. Like I say, it's been my pleasure to serve the people of Lincoln County. And while I'm not going away, I'm certainly going to be hiding out in the country somewhere. But if things get unruly and I don't agree with something, I might just drop back by every now and then. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Anybody else? Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor, rise and leave.